Hey, what is going on, all you bus nuts, geeks, and enthusiasts out there? Welcome to another episode of Motor Coach World. My name is James, and I know I am really late to the game with this, but we finally have some Prevost in the Urbana facility, and today we're going to be doing a back-to-back comparison between the 2023 Prevost H3-45 and the all-new 2024 Prevost H3-45. What's good, what's bad, what's the same, and what's not. Let's go. From the time this thing was unveiled at the United Motor Coach Association back in 2023, the 2024 model Prevost H3-45 was definitely the hype of the show. Everybody was curious about what this thing was gonna look like. Well, I have yet to have the opportunity to drive one, but today, not only do we have a 2024 sitting here, we have a 2023 model. The last Prevost H3-45 produced before they went to the new body style. And with these two sitting next to each other side by side, I'm not gonna miss an opportunity to do a compare and contrast. I noticed immediately that the brand new 2024 Prevost has a narrower profile in the front. Prevosts have always had the iconic squarer, larger front end. It always looked larger than any other coach. Well, in the interest of getting better fuel economy, the brand new 2024 Prevost H3-45 definitely chiseled it down a little bit. Just like the MCI J4500s now, the front end tapers in slightly and you have a much more aerodynamic nose. Aesthetics wise, the rear end is pretty much the same, except the newer 2024 models have the little, what I call the shoulder blades that kind of pop out the back, whereas the older 2023 versions don't. I'm assuming Prevost did that for aerodynamics. Between the 2024 and the 2023, when you compare the side of the bodies lengthwise, once you get up to the driver's area, the mirrors are definitely a giveaway. Let me shut the door here. That there's something different. 2023 mirror and mirror arm, 2024 mirror and mirror arm, and I see that they made it more aerodynamic and sleek by adding this slit through the middle. Maybe lighter weight, more airflow. The mirror definitely looks more modern compared to the old mirror. And the front end is the most obvious of the changes. You definitely notice the headlights are different, and of course the more chiseled, narrower front profile of the coach. The clearance lights are different, where the 2023 models still have the big orange boxy looking clearance lights. The 2024s have the more streamlined looking, narrow, white colored clearance lights. I don't know if you guys can see that. wondering what that rattling was. It was a toilet seat. A lot more open on the 2024 model. There's no hand, there's no latching mechanism. It's just a handle. These are made of metal. Oh, yeah, shutting the, ooh, that's really loud when you shut these. Oh, geez. Yeah, they're not the plastic ones anymore. They do look slightly larger than the old ones. Let's go compare and contrast. But I don't know if they're lighter. They can't be lighter, they're metal. They're definitely a lot more sturdier, but whoo, you don't want to slam those. These are made of plastic, and when you shut them, first of all, they don't slam shut like the other ones. If you don't shut them right, they'll go right back up. And maybe that was the logic behind it, but you definitely have to push them in, where the other one, as soon as it gets to the midpoint, if you let go, they slam. I think passenger would just loud, 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 quiet, quiet, quiet. Can you imagine 56 people all shutting these things at the same time? That would just kind of drive me nuts. Passenger seating. Let's take a look at these brand new seats. Ooh, I like these things. And the controls are up here. And I turned these on from the driver's area. Oh. One cup holder. I think we installed the cup holders. The footrests look the same. There's USB outlets on every seat, 2 per seat, so no one has to share anything. Seat belts, but I absolutely love this. This is great. And it is very comfortable. Seating on a 2023 model. Still pretty comfortable. I mean, I don't feel much different. It definitely lacks a little bit of, there is something to be said about that little strip of lighting right there that just adds a whole lot more to the passengers area. It makes it feel bigger. Controls. Again, I turned the lights on from the driver's area, so I can't turn the reading lights off here. Vents. There's definitely a newly designed service panel for passengers on the 2024 model versus the 2023. Oh, okay. These come with built-in cup holders, whereas the 2024s, the one has the one we put in. I wonder if this is an option. Now, I will say we don't like having these type of permanently mounted cup holders, especially if they're brittle, because they don't last long, and we end up having to replace them, and people rip them off, and sometimes it leaves jagged edges that'll hurt other customers. So yeah, that's why we put in the squishy rubber types ourselves. But I don't know if it's an option to get these on the 2024s, because I didn't see these on the 2024 model right next to us. So, but it definitely seems like we have these on the 2023s. And note that we did not put in any of our own squishy cup holders. Well, good thing they're sitting right next to each other. Let's go find out. Okay, we are back on the 2024 model. I love my job. All right, notice that there are no built-in cup holders as the 2023s have, but we have these, which is what we put in all of our buses. They're very effective cup holders, and no matter what, they're not brittle, so you can't break them. People won't rip them off. And if you do rip them off, there's nothing sharp and jagged to cut you, and you can just put a new one in. I love these things. I don't know if that's an option for the 2024 models. All right, let's see what starting these things up feel like. We're gonna start with the older 2023 model, which is the one that I've spent a lot of time in and more familiar with. Let's fire her up. On the 2023s, you have the classic Prevost startup switch. This is accessory mode if you move to the right. And it's not very well labeled. I've complained about this before when I drove one of these to Branson, Missouri. I always thought that this was off, the furthest right you could go, but really that keeps the battery going. And if a unsuspecting driver didn't know any better and left the bus in this position and went into the hotel room at night, he or she may wake up with a dead battery in the morning. The off position is actually vertical in the up-down position. To turn it on, this is second stage accessory mode. Is that what they call it? I don't know the terminology. The battery comes on, but then you get all the dash lights and all the fans. And then to start it, you simply push it to the left some more. And the bus is on. Beautiful purr. One thing about the Prevost, that right there is the kick knob to release the steering wheel. When a driver pushes down on it with the foot, you hear an air release. As you hold that knob in with your foot, the driver can telescope and adjust the steering wheel to his or her preferred position. As soon as you let off on the switch with your foot, the steering wheel locks in. I really like that actually. I got used to that. Headlights are on the upper left corner, 4-ways, blinds. And of course, you can also control the blinds by pushing on the steering wheel. And you have to remember that for them to go up, you have to double tap. Now the first time I drove this to Branson, I thought that pushing on the upward part would cause it to go up, but that's not the case. This is one button, it's not divided. So to make them go up, you double tap and the blinds will start going up. And of course you have the driver's vents that would get blocked if you had a cup sitting here. To block one of the vents. The cup holder is absolutely atrocious. I've complained about that many times on the older body style, older dash style. And this, I don't know, I've always wondered what this was for. Some people say it's perfect for a milk carton, but of course that goes against the rule most motor coach companies have with no dairy on board. This is just not very well designed. And then you have a push button here, and this is a driver's storage compartment. And in the compartment, there is the old cigarette lighter style power port. The driver's window is here, and to operate it, you push down on that, and it's a little tiny porthole. Air brakes, release to the left, tag lift, you have your gas, brake. Okay, I'm not gonna go too in-depth on what all the buttons do. That's something I might do in the future. If you want to see that video, let me know down in the comments below. In fact, I did one for the MCI a while ago. So if you want to see that, I'll put the link up on top and down in the description box below. But let's go start up the 2024 model now. Right off the bat, you can tell that the steering wheel is different. The entire dash has been completely redesigned. I think those are what, 12 volt? I can never remember what the proper technical term for these is, but I call them cigarette lighter style ports. Right off the bat, I noticed that the Prevost switch key is no longer there. And to start up the 2024 model Prevost, you simply push that for accessory mode. And there's only one position, so there's no longer two separate accessory modes. And as soon as you push down on it, the dash is gonna light up. I don't know, I kind of like that startup chime. It's very soothing, it's very soft, it's not as sharp. Of course, you got the embedded screen here with the beautiful Prevost logo. And to start it, there is a engine start switch here, and that's how you'd start the coach. So, oh, it says press brake pedal to start engine. Okay, that's new. So when you push down on it, it doesn't just start, you have to hit the brake pedal. As soon as you press on the brake pedal, nice. You have to do that in combo. Now, anyone that drives a car that's gone through driver's ed, that's good practice to begin with. You should always have the brake pedal depressed when you start a car or any type of vehicle. So this kind of forces you to do that. I love it. Good call, Prevost. I noticed that the air brakes release is no longer here on the as in the 2023 models. It is now next to your left knee, and it's got this little oh, it's the same concept, but it's not as big, and it's definitely the standard brake release knob that the MCIs have now. Dash wise, everything is pretty intuitive. You got headlights, 4-ways. Pretty much the button layout is exactly the same as the older 2023s, except the buttons have changed styles, and the driver's window is a little larger, and the buttons here. Now all the buttons by the left arm is gone. There is a USB and USB-C ports now. You do have the mirror adjusters still in the similar position, in the similar locations. And oh, these are roof fans. I think these are optional. These control the fans on the emergency hatches. I love those things. They bring in fresh air. The AC controls have all changed. They're here now. This controls the driver's temperature. This controls the passengers. Blinds. Same concept. I also noticed they took the blind button away from the driver's steering wheel. I wonder if that was from me. Cup holder wise, there's no longer a cup holder here. There is still the driver's storage area and very neatly placed USB, 3mm sound jack, and another USB. And you got this really nice little compartment to store your stuff. And the cup holder on the 2024 model Prevost is now here. It's a lot nicer. They did away with that weird box thing. And yeah, this is definitely going to hold a beverage cup a lot better than the ones found on 2023. The way to telescope and adjust the steering wheel has changed. It's no longer that little push bolt that I showed you on the 2023s. It's in the same location, but it's a pedal now, I think. Yeah, see this pedal? If I push it down, okay, it's spring action. It goes up instead of down. So that's kind of nice. The door operating buttons look identical to the older style Prevost. Green being shut and red being open. Very nice, very nice. And to shut it down, lights, 4-ways. I always make sure the AC is off, and power. Oh, I always want to make sure the high idle's off too before I shut it down. All right, before we take this thing out for a drive, let's go check out the engine compartments of both Prevosts. Now, just like the older Prevosts, to open the hatch, you have to first release the rear hatch from the side. So let me show you what that looks like. So this is the 2024 model. First you want to open that up, and then this thing right here is, well, no, oh, here. It's this thing. And once you pull up on that, you can pull up on that. And now let's do the 2023s. Open that up. The latch to release the doors in the same position. And the door is now free. From the untrained eye, the engines look identical, and they are the same engine, same powertrain, but I'm sure there are changes in the 24 model versus the 23 model, small changes that from an untrained person who's not a diesel tech. So all you diesel buffs and geeks out there, you're probably gonna put down a slew of stuff that is actually different compared to the 24s and the 23s. Yeah, enlighten us with that, will ya? Oh, and I have to point out, I can't tell you how many new drivers that I've seen try to shut these doors without pushing this latch up first, and they end up bending or damaging this because they just don't take the time to think about why isn't this shutting, so they're using brute force. Just make sure you push this thing up, and this will allow the door to come down. If something isn't working, don't brute force it. Not on a motor coach. These things are too nice. You're gonna damage something. And the 24 model is the same. Push up and pull down. There's a handle right here that I should be using, but whatever. Shut the side door. All right, guys, let's go for a ride. This feels nice. Oh, she's got some get up. Woo! Now, guys, I'm just gonna say this is the first time I've ever driven the new 2024 Prevost H3-45 with this body style. We've had these for over a year now, and I'm just now getting to really test drive it. One, as I mentioned before, these things aren't based out of the facility that I work out of most of the time. And when I do go to the Peoria office, I really don't have time to make a video like this. You gotta do what's best for the company and not what's best for your YouTube channel. Oh, right off the bat though, this thing feels nice. It's tight, there's not a lot of rattling going on. And if you haven't noticed, I'm using the Insta360 camera mounted to my hat. This, if you haven't seen Albert Lua's videos, go check them out. This is what he uses to make his videos, but I'm testing this out as well. All right, let's hit the interstate. We're gonna actually go right. It's a very quiet ride. Such smooth acceleration, very soft suspension. I absolutely love the suspension of the Prevost. One thing I'm noticing is the dash is a lot more compressed. Oh, what does that mean? Beep, 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 beep. Oh, I think it was telling me I was riding too close to one of the lines. Interesting, all right. Usually when I hear a some kind of chime or alarm, I'm looking for some kind of symbol on the dash to coincide with it. I didn't see anything. But what I will do is probably lower the steering wheel a little. There we go, that's better. Something I should have done before we took off. But what I'm noticing is that the dash is a lot lower compared to the 2023 model Prevost. It's not as high. It's very much like a Van Hool layout as far as the height. So I'm having to look down a lot farther to see my instruments. I mean, which isn't a bad thing. Let's get through this construction zone and we'll open her up and get her up to speed. Because right now we've only gone up to 55. Okay, I think we're out of the construction zone. Let's floor it. Let's go. All right, we're gonna floor it now and get her up to speed. Pass up the semi. Let's see what max speed feels like on this Prevost. We're now at 71 miles an hour. The wind noise is really quiet. You can definitely hear it, but it's very nominal. I like it. Compared to the MCI, ride quality is slightly better. I will say the Mercedes Tour Rider, hands down, has the best ride quality as far as the softness of the suspension and the smoothness. But this is a pretty smooth riding coach. It's still got the same sway that Prevost have always known to have, the H models, that is, due to their height. And that's not a negative thing, it's just a characteristic of an H model Prevost. Especially during turns, you definitely feel the sway more than any other make and model. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to St. Joseph, Illinois, a tiny little town about 15 minutes to the east of Urbana. And this is where we're going to exit, and we're going to take the country road back into Urbana, and from there we're going to take local city roads, back to the shop. The horn, I accidentally just hit the horn. It's nice and loud, but the placement of the horn, I think, is going to be a problem for me. I like to rest my hands on that area of the wheel, and I think that I'm going to accidentally sound the horn a lot on this coach. There's the Prevost sway. Ah, beautiful. Gun shop right here, and that guy owned it for many years. He recently just passed away. Dave's Firearms. Rest in peace, Dave. This here is Mount Olive Cemetery. This is where I buried my dad, and this is where my mom and I and the rest of my family will probably end up one day. Sorry, I didn't mean to get dark on you guys. Hi, Dad. I miss him a lot. Oh, one more thing I love about the 2024 Prevost H3-45 is that they finally got rid of this little sun visor. But yeah, there's this plastic sun visor here that just drove me nuts. Now, I mentioned that in previous videos when I drove the Prevost, and a lot of drivers were saying that they like it, and hey, to each their own. But for me, I did not care for them, so it's much more cleaner without that. And even with it here, I mean, it would have been a very simple fix for them to just make it like adjustable where you can retract it, but you couldn't. It was fixed, and it stayed there, and it protruded about, I don't know, 5 to 6 inches into the driver's viewing area. And although it was transparent, I don't know, it drove me nuts. So thank you, Prevost, for getting rid of that. Something vibrating up here. I can't tell. That's the... I'll have to play with that a little more. Okay, what a ride, and special thanks to Albert for letting me borrow his little hat cam. I kind of ran out of battery right as we pulled in, but we got all the footage we need. Let me show you what was rattling up here. So, if you have the blinds all the way in the up position, this thing, and it's not broken, it's just, that's the way it was designed because it needs to be able to retract. And if you have it all the way up in the up position, hitting the brakes or bumps, passengers are gonna start hearing that. Something that will get annoying in the middle of a trip. Well folks, I hope you guys enjoyed the compare and contrast of the 2023 versus the 2024. Now folks, I understand that we barely skimmed the surface as far as all the new features and quirks and perks of the 2024 Prevost H3-45 compared to that of the older body style, older models. This was just a brief comparison of the two and the chance to get to drive one. This is the first time I've driven the new body style 2024 Prevost H3-45 and I absolutely loved it. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys would like to see more Prevost content and what specifically you want me to show on the 2024s. I gotta get back to work. As always, if you're watching this, you are part of the motor coach world. Toodles.